What if I told you that on a single ordinary Monday in October 1987, the stock market didn't just fall, it died in front of the entire world, wiping out more than $500 billion in a single day, the equivalent of trillions today, and that while millions of regular families watched their life savings, retirement dreams, and homes evaporate in hours, the biggest banks, hedge funds, and insiders not only survived, but came out stronger, richer, and almost completely untouched. Yeah, you heard that right. Black Monday, 1987 was the largest one-day percentage crash in stock market history, a shocking 22.6% drop in the Dow Jones, and it exposed a brutal truth that still defines our financial system today. When the market crashes, the pain almost never hits everyone equally. The little guy takes the hardest hit, while the system quietly protects the powerful. If you have ever lain awake at night wondering why your American dream feels further away than ever while the people who wrecked everything keep winning, then you're about to feel the full rage you deserve. Because today, we are ripping open Black Monday 1987. The day the market crashed and only the big players survived the verified timeline of pure panic. The computer trading systems that turned a dip into a death spiral, the human devastation that wrecked millions of ordinary lives. And the deeper systemic betrayal that explains why you are still paying for their greed through higher costs, slower wage growth, and the constant fear that the next crash is coming. Stick with me until the very last word, because the documented 22.6% wipe out the program trading machines that accelerated the collapse, the families who lost everything in hours, and the chilling reason the big institutions got bailed out while you did not, will leave you equal parts heartbroken and burning with righteous anger at how the system was rebuilt to protect the guilty while the innocent keep footing the bill. If you have ever been on the wrong end of a market crash, or you want to understand why history keeps protecting the powerful while crushing everyone else, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications so you never miss these deep dives, and drop a comment below telling me whether you or someone you love was personally devastated by 2008, or if this explanation has you finally seeing the unfair system for what it is. I read every single comment, and we are building this conversation together as a community that demands justice for the lives that were stolen. Welcome to Money's Hidden Past. Rich people lied. We fact-checked. Let us begin on the morning of Monday, October 19th, 1987, because that single day changed the financial world forever in ways we are still living with today. The New York Stock Exchange opened under heavy pressure after a weak weekend, and within minutes, the selling started. By the end of the day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had plunged 508 points, a staggering 22.6% loss, the largest single-day percentage drop in history. More than 604 million shares changed hands, an absolute record at the time. Trillions of dollars in today's money simply vanished in a matter of hours. Pension funds, retirement accounts, and ordinary investors who had put their life savings into the market watched everything evaporate. This was not a normal correction. It was pure panic on a scale no one had ever seen before. The market did not just fall, it broke. What made it so terrifying was how fast and mechanical it all happened. In the years leading up to 1987, the stock market had been on a massive bull run fueled by easy money and optimism. But underneath that boom, a dangerous new technology had taken over Wall Street. Computer-driven program trading and something called portfolio insurance. These systems were designed to automatically sell stocks when prices started falling to protect big investors. The idea sounded smart on paper. In practice, it created a deadly feedback loop. As soon as prices dipped even slightly, the computers started selling huge blocks of stock. That selling pushed prices down further, which triggered even more automatic selling. Within hours, the machines were in control, and human traders could not keep up. Margin calls went out forcing investors to sell more just to cover their loans. The spiral became unstoppable. By midday, the panic was total. Phones were ringing off the hook. Traders were screaming on the floor. The market was in free fall, and no one could stop it. The human cost was absolutely devastating, and this is the part that still hurts to remember. Millions of ordinary Americans who had worked their entire lives suddenly saw their retirement savings cut in half or worse. Families who had bought homes counting on rising stock values to help with payments found themselves underwater overnight. People lost jobs as companies slashed spending in the panic. The unemployment rate would eventually climb, and the economy would slide into a sharp recession. For many middle-class families, Black Monday was not just a bad day on Wall Street. It was the day their American dream died. They had done everything right. Saved, invested, trusted the system. And in one afternoon, the system took it all away. The emotional toll was enormous. People felt betrayed, angry, and helpless. Many never fully recovered financially or emotionally. This was the moment when millions of regular people learned the painful truth that the market does not care about you when the big players decide to pull the plug. But here's the part that should make your blood boil even today. While regular families were losing everything, the big banks, the hedge funds, and the insiders mostly survived, and some even profited. They had better tools, better information, and most importantly, better safety nets. The Federal Reserve under Alan Greenspan stepped in almost immediately, flooding the system with liquidity and promising to backstop the banks. Large institutions received emergency credit lines and support that ordinary investors never saw. Many big players had already started selling before the real panic hit because they had access to information the public did not. Some hedge funds and trading desks actually made money on the way down by shorting the market or using sophisticated derivatives. When the dust settled, the big banks were quickly bailed out with taxpayer-backed support while the little guy was left holding the bag. Almost no one at the top went to jail. No major reforms fundamentally changed the dangerous computer trading systems that accelerated the crash. The same institutions that helped create the conditions for the collapse were allowed to keep operating, and in many cases grew even larger. This is the cold reality that still defines our financial system. When markets crash, the pain almost never hits everyone equally. The little guy takes the hardest hit while the system quietly protects the powerful. The energetic betrayal that still burns decades later is how quickly the narrative changed after the crash. At first, there was outrage. People demanded answers and accountability. Congress held hearings. The Brady Commission investigated and pointed directly at program trading and portfolio insurance as the main culprits. But the actual changes were weak. The computer systems that caused the spiral were only slightly restricted. The big banks received support, and within a few years, they were back to business as usual. The stock market recovered. The Dow eventually climbed to new highs. The people at the top made their money back, and then some. Meanwhile, millions of regular families never fully recovered. Their retirement accounts took years to rebuild if they ever did. Their homes lost value. Their confidence in the system was shattered. This is the asymmetry that has repeated in every major crash since. The powerful get rescued, the public pays the price. And the cycle continues because the system was never truly fixed. It was simply patched to protect the same players who caused the damage. The deeper and more disturbing truth is that Black Monday 1987 was not an isolated event. It was a warning shot that revealed how fragile and unfair the modern financial system really is. The same forces that caused the crash, excessive leverage, computer-driven trading herd mentality, and the belief that prices can only go up, have appeared again and again. The dot-com bubble, the 2008 housing crisis, and even the more recent meme stock and crypto frenzies all followed similar patterns. Each time the little guy gets crushed while the big institutions survive and often profit from the chaos. Each time the public ends up paying through bailouts, inflation, or lost opportunities. The lesson from 1987 is painfully clear. When the market crashes, the pain is not distributed equally. The system is designed to protect capital and the people who control it, while ordinary workers and savers absorb the real losses. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is the documented reality of how modern finance actually works. The energetic reality check that should wake everyone up is that we are not safer today than we were in 1987. We have more regulations, more computers, and more sophisticated tools, but the core asymmetry remains. When things go wrong, the powerful still get rescued and the public still pays. The national debt has exploded partly to fund these rescues. Inflation has quietly stolen purchasing power from savers. Wage growth for the average person has lagged behind the gains flowing to asset owners. The pattern is the same. The names and the technology change, but the outcome does not. Black Monday was the day the market crashed, and only the big players survived. And that survival came at the expense of everyone else. Understanding this history is the first step toward demanding a system that actually protects regular people instead of bailing out the institutions that keep breaking it. The mature but painful recognition here is that 1987 was never about justice. It was about power. The crash exposed the dangers of unchecked speculation and computer-driven trading, but the response protected the powerful rather than fixing the root causes. The big players learned they could take enormous risks, knowing the system would save them. The little guy learned that when the music stops, he is the one left without a chair. This is the cold arithmetic that still governs our financial world today. The banks and institutions that caused the damage did not just survive, they thrived. You and your family are still paying the price. If this deep dive into Black Monday 1987, the day the market crashed and only the big players survived, fired you up about seeing the real long-term betrayal behind financial crashes, then do me a favor right now. Smash that like button to let the algorithm know this conversation matters. Share this video with every friend and family member who was hurt by a market crash or fears the next one, and let us keep exposing what they do not want you to see. I will catch you in the next one, where we break down the next hidden chapter in the history of financial power and public cost. Until then, stay informed, stay angry, and remember that when Wall Street crashes, the bill does not disappear. It just gets passed to you and your children.